I like my women like I like my golf ball. White with dimples. 5 strokes before you enter the hole. I like my women like I like my teachers. I like my women like I like my teachers, giving me private lessons and rewarding me when I come early. Another thing, I just came up with this last night. I told my wife, before we go to sleep, let's give each other 5 compliments. You start. And then when it was my turn, I was like, I'm tired. True story about the compliments, though. We do give each other compliments back and forth. That's good. Here we go. See? Oh, she's leaning on you like, that's going to be our thing now, Herman. Let's just do one compliment back and forth, okay? We'll just do one. I think the guy should start, okay? Give your lady one compliment.
I'm tired.
He said, I'm tired!
Pocket Party.
And we're back. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's a very special episode of the Pocket Party podcast. Today we have a good friend, Frank Cronin, and he tells us all about going to the Serengeti. Exciting stuff. Lions right outside of the vehicle. By the way, dates out the gate, September 24th. I will be at the Ontario Improv, 7 o'clock. Link is in my link tree. If you go to Instagram, you'll see it. Or go to DarrenCarter.com. Also coming to Phoenix, Arizona in October. And going to Bakersfield, yeah, baby, October 20th. October 20th, you can see me at the Well Comedy Club in Bakersfield. All right, guys, enjoy this episode. Let's get into it. Let's start that party in your ear holes. Oh, also, I'm available for Cameo. You want a customized video shout out? I'll do it for you. Birthday, weddings, anniversaries, something coming up, Halloween, a special pep talk. I'll do it for you. If you want me to do it, I like my women like I like my, and put a person's name, give them a shout out, something that they like. If they like motorcycles, if they like whatever they're into, I can do it for you. All right, guys, let's get into the episode. It's a good one. Thank you so much. Let's start that party in your ear hole. And we're back, hey everybody. This is your host, Darren Carter, the party starter. We just finished our show here in Burbank, California, Flappers, and sitting in front of me is the one, the only, all the way from Ireland, Mr. Frank Cronin. Yeah.
Hey, good to be back with you, Darren. Always a pleasure. You killed it in there tonight. Well done.
Thank you, buddy. Dude, it's so good to, I swear to God, man, when I saw your post that you got an apartment, that you're back in LA, and that you're at Flappers, because I knew that you were at Flappers last week, and my buddy was on the same show, and I'm like, you gotta talk to Frank. Yeah. And I don't know if you guys did or didn't, but I was so happy because it kind of made me feel like we're getting back to some normalcy now. And then that you have the apartment, I'm like, dude, when's the last time you and I sat across from each other and did a podcast? It's 2019 or 2020.
Yeah, sitting across from each other. We tried to do one during the pandemic, but it's probably been 2 years.
Yeah, I think we did we did the Zoom podcast, which is cool, but this is feels like normal, right? You do a comedy, you hang out after the show, the staff's going to kick us out in about 20 minutes, so it's like...
Yeah, the whole comedy club is empty, save for a few pots and pans being washed, and we're sitting in a side room here, one of the comedy rooms, and I was just in here performing tonight. It was a pleasure.
There's so much I want to talk about. Guys, if you've listened to the episode with Frank Cronin, Francis Cronin, a.k.a. Glow Punk, we did a great episode. He walked from San Francisco, Golden Gate Bridge, all the way down to Los Angeles. He made the whole walk. He slept outside. It was fantastic. I mean, my friend said it was like listening to a book.
Oh, yeah. Well, if I didn't have attention deficit disorder, I'd probably write a book about it. But yeah, walked from San Francisco to LA, doing comedy along the way with no tent, sleeping under trucks, relying on my ex-military training to keep me alive. But to be honest, it was winter in California, so it was actually cool. There was no mosquitoes, and I like the outdoors, so it was actually easy enough. But to the average Joe watching who isn't into the outdoors, I guess it was a interesting enough feat to just think every night for, I think it was 41 days, there was someone sleeping out there, walking slowly from SF to LA. And it was good.
And it was great because at the time I think you were putting it on Instagram, I think in your stories.
Yeah, Instagram stories, and then it because I got a little pop in Ireland, then it started getting into the papers, and we did England, and we did the Irish Times, the English Times, and then it got a bit weird, Inside Edition, and then there was a big, nice show at the Dynasty Typewriter, who co-signed the whole thing, very kindly, Jamie and Vanessa, and we did a show there. Jeff Garland showed up, Preacher Lawson showed up, Moses Storm showed up, so some really nice people came out to support, and we raised a bit of money for Homeless Healthcare Los Angeles, and everyone was happy, and now back to the real world, trying to take over the comedy world.
Oh, you're going to do it, buddy. You are on fire. And but I will say, with that regards to that, real quick, I remember that night that you started the walk. It was raining cats and dogs. It was a torrential rainpour. I was in Sacramento performing, and I remember they canceled the show because of the storm, and so I ended up. Well, I'm like, I can't fly out till Monday, so I went to a movie theater, and it was just raining so hard, and I'm like, dang, tonight's the night he starts walking. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. You know, an Irishman in the rain, it doesn't really bother me too much, to be honest. Most of my the military training was done in the rain. You know, digging holes, living in it for a week, working out of a hole in the middle of nowhere with great people by your side, and taking over different locations tactically, sneakily. So, to be honest, it put me back in a very good mindset, and I really do enjoy it. I find doing hard stuff, really suffering, you know, going through. I think a lot of people who do endurance sports or even play rugby or, you know, anything that's physical, you really do get something out of a little bit of hurt and going beyond what you think are your limits. Because when you break those limits, the body has all these sorts of chemical and physical and neurological reserves, and you'll start pulling energy out of nowhere in your body. So it was truly borderline euphoric for 40 days. You can live as long as you eat every day and drink water every day, stretch a little bit. You can actually what the human body is capable of, you know, what is it, like 500 miles over 40 days? It wasn't actually that much mileage, but sleeping out made it a little bit more difficult. But the human body is really capable of stuff. And one of the nicer messages I got was like from a few young lads who were thinking about joining the army and said, hey, I don't know if I could do the outdoor stuff. And then they'd write me back later and go, here, I went for this crazy run. I did 12 miles. I've never done 12 miles.
Wow.
And they start finding this reserve that they didn't know they had because they're told by the masses that a marathon is a lot. And then they find that, oh, wait, hang on, 1 million people do a marathon a year? So what's the extremity of what you can do? And so people that I watched encouraged me to take a chance, and then it was nice that people who were watching me are now taking a chance. So it's a little bit self-congratulatory, but on the grand scheme of things, it is nice to be somewhat of a good influence on young lads, especially when you grow up and all your mates are wild. You know, we were all pretty wild, and so. It does feel good, like if you can put all that energy into crazy exercise and adventure, I mean, that's just really good for a young person's brain, be it a guy or a girl.
Yeah, you and I went hiking not that long ago, but 10 months ago or something.
Yeah. No, you're fit as a fiddle, dude, and you're doing 200 push-ups a day, is that true?
Well, every day.
It sounds like we're both singing each other's praises.
Yeah. No, I did 200 push-ups yesterday, but like today I was like, I better not. But you're right, though. I'm doing push-ups throughout the day, pull-ups, I'm hiking, I love that stuff, man. It's
fitness is just fitness, like as a base, just for your life in general, is great. So if you have a good base of fitness,
resistance bands. I got some resistance bands. I don't know if you did. Those are great because it's like you're doing your push-ups, and then you're like, I have some with my son. I go, let's do some supersets. I go, give me 25 push-ups. Now step on the resistant band and like do a squat, and then push up, do a military press. Yeah. It's like,
dude, you know who uses resistance bands? And it's like, I've been starting following them on YouTube. But if anybody wants to know how to do fitness right, watch jail fitness videos. These guys are animals. They got a 6 foot by 10 foot cell. They got no excuses. Fair enough, some of them have steroids in the radiator, but in general, those guys know how to be the fittest men alive, or women.
But they do those burpees,
push-ups, every which way, and they're absolutely shredded, and they know exactly how to get the best out of the body. So if you really are into fitness, we won't make this all about fitness, I guess, but if you really are into fitness and you're a bit of a fitness interested in that kind of thing,
guys, it's the best because I used to. Back in the 90s, I was like, I have to join a gym and pay the monthly dues. And then I realized, no, you don't have to, man. Just like what you just said, especially with TikTok, Instagram, you start seeing these videos like, oh, man, that's how you do. There's a million ways to do push-ups. There's a million ways to do ab exercises. There's all these like things you could do for free. And it's exciting to like see how creative the mind can be. And then if you can follow that and see what you can do.
Yeah, and use you can, well, what works for me, I can only say what works for me. But I joined a gym there recently. It's not that fancy. It's actually LA Fitness. I think it's $1 a day, but it's around the corner, literally around the corner from my house. Best. And so I find myself when I'm bored, I'm just like, I'm walking around to the gym. Even if I don't feel like training, I jump into the sauna. Yeah. I do 10-minute sets in there, like 3 10-minute sets. Come out feeling like I've done a full workout.
Really? Just because it's a sauna?
Yeah. Well, you know how hot it gets, so you're just sweating it out. And then you're loosened up for the next day. But the proximity, and then also the other people training.
Yeah.
Having other people training. Yeah. And, you keep your eyes to yourself, but just having fit people around that are looking good, and you're standing beside them and you go, okay, I'm gonna look good.
Just by looking at each other, look good. I don't know if that's how it works for you.
Well,
dude, you know what? With that theory, you put yourself in jail.
You
can start working
start with LA Fitness, end up in jail.
Jail Fitness.
It's actually a perfect segue because half the people in LA Fitness are in jail or were in jail.
Yeah. That's hilarious. Dude, tonight your set was great, and you said you're shaking the rust off. You haven't really been on stage that much over the last year. You look comfortable tonight, and that was really a great way to get back into it. A little bit of material, a little bit of audience interaction.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah.
Well, it was an intimate crowd, as they say in the business. Anyone in the business knows intimate means it was a fairly sparse crowd. Yeah, small for those.
You did it. It was great.
But it felt very comfortable. I do find because I'm sure you've done tens of thousands of sets, but I'm sure I've done a few thousand at this point. So you have this muscle memory, and then if you can just relax into it, and for smaller crowds make it conversational, you never really miss. Yeah, it's only if you overextend, you try to push energy.
Yes. Trying to make everything a funny joke, and it's it was perfect. It's like you asked the couple how long they've been together or something like that, and you're like, I wonder if I'll ever find love. Remember you said that out loud, and you go, I can't even find my keys. Yeah. And then the lady, she answered back, she goes, you'll never find him, or something like that. But you thought she said love, but she meant your keys. It was hilarious.
Well, I'm trying to stack jokes. I wrote about 4 pages of marriage jokes. Oh. I keep this open work. This is for anyone who's doing comedy, I guess. I guess some people will listen to this who do comedy, right? But I keep an open Google document. I've got like 95 pages, like a full feature's worth of comedy. And like, I started putting all the marriage jokes, all the dating jokes, all the romance jokes and blah, blah, blah together, relationship jokes together. So I'm trying to make a chunk that's at least 20 minutes long, that pops towards the end, that has an arc, and then tie myself, the protagonist, through it. But yeah, I talk a good game. It's just getting all those jokes lined up in a way that will work in every room is so tough. You know the work, man.
Let me ask you this: you and your parents went on an African safari. You just got back. Now, how long were you there?
Oh, well, yes, I was in Tanzania, in East Africa, just near the Sudan. We were in the Serengeti, which David Attenborough. Anybody who knows David Attenborough would like that. We were in the Serengeti with great migration camps, watching the wildebeest move by their millions across the river, and there were elephants, giraffes, lions, lionesses, monkeys, all sorts of things, cheetahs.
Are you guys kind of protected a little bit from the wild animals?
Yeah, but it is a bit weird. The car is open top. In general, the cars are open top. So if the cats were really hungry, they could easily jump in. But the thing is, it's like a buffet to them. They can move at 40 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour if they're a cheetah, I think. And so it's like a buffet. They're just looking at all the food just walk by them, and then they pounce down out of a tree if they're a leopard, or they sprint across a flat land if they're a cheetah, or if they're a lion, they kind of get tactical, and they move, like all the lionesses move forward and do the shopping, the grocery shopping, pick out, select something, and they do a pincer movement while the lion watches on.
And they're not that interested in human beings, I would imagine.
No, but I wouldn't go. Actually, that said, I would go walking. I went on a walking safari with the great Carl, who's he's a cool guide. He grew up in Kruger National Park in South Africa, and he grew up with a leopard living in the tree at the end of his garden, so he had to get familiar with nature real quick. And he's now a guide in the Serengeti. He's well, I can't say what else he is, but he's brilliant, a brilliant mind and a brilliant man. And he grabbed his rifle one day, his elephant gun, with just for to fire warning shots, and we went on a walking safari down to some rocks where there's some lions.
Hey Darren, I'm done in like 5.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so see, we told you we're getting a 5-minute wrap up. So we'll take this and we'll go from here and we'll go outside. It'll be interesting.
But just to finish that thing on the rocks, we go down to the rocks. The lions were gone, but we got chased away by a hyena.
What?
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
A hyena, like was it like a laughing hyena where it's like?
Yeah, this guy. Yeah, well,
Like
to be honest, dude, even in the Serengeti, I couldn't get laughs. So no, he wasn't a laughing hyena.
Dude, you gotta use that. Hang on to that. That's another funny line. Hold on, we're gonna. Speaking of migration, we're gonna migrate from this comedy club to my car. So it's gonna make sure I got my glasses.
Should we keep this bit as kind of interesting as we move?
Yeah.
Right?
We're gonna keep it.
So Darren's packing up his bag now.
So I'm gonna put my bag back here.
And I'm recapping on what I've shared, thinking, my God, it's a bit all over the place. But if Darren's happy, he's happy.
I'm happy. So let's.
So the acoustics are going to change for the audience.
So
right?
hold on one second. We don't want to like yank. Let me grab this, and I guess we'll put this table back. Put that back there. That was weird when you see that when it sprung down, and
God love the staff here. Flappers, they're great.
That's right. They're so nice. Thank you. Shout out to Flappers letting us use this room. All right. So
Flappers has basically been my life for 8 years.
Yeah.
Great people.
They're so good, right? This is like, my friend goes, I could see why this would be it's a very cozy home club feel. Like they're so accommodating to comedians and of all levels, right? You got everybody from Kevin Hart playing here to somebody it's their very first time, you know? So we're walking through the kitchen, you're hearing the dishes being washed.
Yeah. Good night, guys.
I'm saying goodbye to Amber.
Thanks, Amber.
Good night.
Good night. Love you guys.
Love you.
Thank you so much.
Amber basically runs the show.
Yeah, we'll see you later. All right. We're walking past a gentleman here. Good night.
Good night.
Have a good night. Thank you. All right, so we're going past the kitchen. We're going, oh, that's that thing that blows so all the flies don't come in.
And past the reinforced safety deposit box, code 7576. No, I'm just kidding.
I think they've changed it.
We're in the car park.
Got the keys out.
Oh, wow.
Norman hit the alarm. Fascinating.
Yeah.
All right.
I do like these. I like the acoustics and like the real vibe.
Yeah, when you hear this, you're gonna go like, "Oh, that sounds real." And
Yeah.
now it's quiet.
So now we're in a Porsche Boxster 2023.
Yeah.
Darren's new car after TikTok and Instagram blown up. Dude, that's exciting. Your whole life is blown up online right now.
Dude, it's really nice. As of this recording, it's 138,000 followers. So
Brilliant.
I mean,
on Insta.
On Insta, yeah. That's not even counting like YouTube and all that stuff. So everybody who's listened to the podcast, who supported me, you guys knew me when like nobody was really, well, I wouldn't say nobody, but not as many people were paying attention to me or knew what I was doing. So thank you guys.
Yeah, that's crazy though, dude. We did predict it though. You started doing something a few years ago that was very clearly getting hits, and it was going to work. And I think I kind of coincided with you around that time, and I remember saying to you, just if you keep going, there's no way this can't work, because your numbers were building, and then does it grow exponentially all of a sudden? Is that what
it does? Something will pop, and then it's when it happens. And I remember you were talking to me during the pandemic. You were like, "I'm going to switch glasses."
Wow, he's switching his glasses. Darren Carter. I can't believe I'm in the presence of Darren Carter, casually in his Porsche Boxster 2023, switching glasses. These new frames probably worth, what, 500,000 per lens?
Yeah, no, these were I bought these in Canada at a drugstore.
Oh, okay. Well, they look nice.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, leopard print.
wonder if I should turn the car on so we can get some AC going on in here.
Yeah, or open the windows so that we don't gas each other.
Hold on. No, I think we're gonna be okay. I'm gonna turn this car on.
Wow.
That Porsche engine.
That is what unbelievable.
Yeah. So, man, tell us. Oh, sorry. Oh God, music is playing.
No, that's good.
Tell us more about this. So you guys went for like a walking safari one day. You guys went out there.
Yeah. So here's the full story, because storytelling seems to be good for podcasts, right?
Yeah.
So about 3 years ago, me and my mate Edward Drake and Mandy Horvath went to climb Kilimanjaro. Now that sounds pretty normal. People do that.
Oh, dude, I know about that Kilimanjaro. Yeah. Ernest Hemingway wrote a whole book about it.
Yeah,
Lots of stories.
It's the highest freestanding mountain in Africa.
Wow.
Right, so it's one of the big peaks. And when you get up near the top, even just turning over in your bed on the last night, you'll be out of breath. No exaggeration. So you really got to focus on your breath. It's a hard climb. But the lady who we were filming, documenting doing the climb, she had no legs.
Oh, wow.
Mandy Horvath, she lost them in a horrific accident. She got hit by a train, lost her legs, so she's a bilateral amputee. And she just coincided with us, and we started we filmed the doc as she climbed. So we had porters and everything, 20 porters and blah, blah, blah. So we met Carl and Sally over there, and they became our safari guides 3 years later, because we got on so well on the first trip. And when I was over there, my father in a WhatsApp message became quite effusive, and he's a lovely guy, but he never had shared something so passionately before. He said, in my 20s, I wanted to go to Tanzania and start a new life there. I was like, what? That's random. And he it was a big long old text, but I had never heard my father even really talk about it.
And you brought that up because you knew you were going to go there and do the documentary?
Well, because I was there on the dock, he sent a text one night. He was living vicariously through me. He's like all excited about the journey, and he's asking me loads of questions.
Wow.
And so...
I was living vicariously through you for your walk from San Francisco to LA.
And I was living vicariously through you right now as your comedy career takes off and mine doesn't.
We're all living vicariously through each other.
Yeah. Maybe we should live our own lives. Yeah. Well, anyway, okay. Just journey inward.
So that planted the seed in your mind. You're like, okay, my dad really wanted to do this.
Really wanted to go, and I recently got a part in a movie, and I got a good Hollywood paycheck, and I was finally able to, with my brothers and sisters, pull together enough money. We sent them on this cool safari, and then I joined them. Actually, I was gifted the present, and I joined them over there by the wonderful Edward Drake. So it just worked out. My dad got to live his dream.
That's great.
My mum got to travel with her sister, and they're all in their 80s. So two couples, all in their 80s, just out there looking not to be getting eaten by lions. Yeah. And using the toilets every 5 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what was it like to sleep at night? Like, are you guys sleeping in tents, and there's a guard that's like with a gun to make sure no animals creep on you guys, or?
Right. It's the real deal. It's pretty extreme. Honestly, health and safety regulations in California would not allow it. But it's completely safe over there. But you're really responsible for your life. Like, if you leave your tent at night, they say wear a torch. When you shine the torch out into the grass, you can see all the eyes looking in. Hyenas. Wow. There's zebras chewing grass throughout the night. It sounds like an engine. There's so many of them around the tents.
Really?
Zebras come up to the tents. We heard lions roaring in the background and going, whoo, whoo, whoo. They're like calling out each other, like calling in that they're going to take down prey. It's the real deal. You could definitely get eaten alive at night if you went out at the wrong time. Hyenas came in on the last trip, actually, and they went for the kitchen, and they were all like gnawing at the tuna containers and all.
Wow.
That. So it's really pretty intense.
Yeah. How many guards stay? How many guards do stay awake to kind of guard you guys?
No, if you're a bit of an outdoorsy person and they know you're outdoorsy and they think you can pay attention, there's no guards. Everyone will get asleep. But you do have employment over there means that there's like actually, to be honest, a really great chef on site, which sounds, but he's cooking out of the back of off the back of a generator, but he's a real great chef.
But doesn't that make the animals hungry too?
Oh yeah,
they must smell that and feel like,
well,
we want to go to the barbecue.
You know what I learned? The first trip I didn't believe it. I was kind of terrified, man. We'd get out of the truck and we'd go for our lunch in the middle of the Serengeti, and they'd say, you'll be fine here, but we'd just seen a lion 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Walking around. But what actually happens is the animals really see humans, because we're on two legs, bipedal, I believe it's called.
Yeah.
They've learned over generations to stay away from humans.
Yeah.
And humans actually originated in that area, in the Rift Valley.
Yeah.
So as long as humans been around, they've been encountering lions. And so the big predators really see humans as like not enough meat on the bone. There's clothes, they're clanky, they're unpredictable.
They might try to kill me or something.
Yeah,
also.
they might try and kill me, they might shout, they wear bright colours, but also they smell weird. Also, the animals that the big cats are looking at, the way it was described to me is the cats want certainty. Like a cat wants certainty. So when it's going in for a kill, no matter what it is, it wants the animal, and it will usually act predictably. So a wildebeest will act a certain way. A big deer or whatever, I can't remember the name of them right now, will act a certain way. But a human is like, they scream, they shout, they've got rustly clothes.
Yeah.
And so they really, because they're so capable, apex predators, of killing anything they want, what they do is they pick out exactly what they want and they go for it. So, and they usually get it every time because they're so proficient. It's truly a buffet for the animals out there, and we're not on it, which is great.
That's good.
It makes for tourism.
Yeah, I know. Dude, that's a great motivational speech. I want to go out there now by myself.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you guys aren't into me. I'm skinny.
Dude, we talked about doing a walking thing. To be honest though, I'm not sold on it, and because it sounds too dangerous.
I mean,
unpredictable. But
unpredictable. That's unpredictable.
But that's from my Western training. But if you grew up in the Kruger National Park, or you grew up around these animals, an elephant, for example. In general, you stand your ground, an elephant will turn around and go away, unless it's really at the peak of its must or whatever. And tigers, if you charge them or make a loud noise, or not tigers, lions, they'll usually back away. But I don't want to try that.
Right.
But the locals, they know what's up. They'll go, and they'll all go.
One time I was walking on the farm and I was way in the back, and then and at a distance I saw two white creatures. I couldn't tell what they were, kind of hopping along, kind of coming towards me. This is before I got my new prescription, so it was blurry. I couldn't tell what.
Coming from the nightclub.
I don't know what it was. It was I'm like, what? I'd never seen anything white like in nature like that. Like what is that? I'm like, is that a horse and a pony? I couldn't tell what it was. And it got a little closer, and then I realized it was two large dogs, and one was bigger than the other one. They looked like this white, big, and it looked, and I startled them too, because I yelled as loud as I could, and they were kind of bouncing towards me, and then they stopped.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh crap, I don't have any weapons, I have nothing. I'm screwed, man. It's like a quarter mile back to anything. And so, but the only thing I do carry is I carry an axe handle.
When you go walking?
When I go walking out there, So, and I thought, well, there's a horse corral with barbed wire. I could somehow maybe hop the thing and jump up on a tractor, a rusty tractor, and I could call someone. So I'm trying to think what I could do. Yeah. But then eventually the dog got scared and ran. It must have been two stray dogs in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
I talked to somebody. Go ahead. I was going to say, I talked to this martial artist guy. He said, if you have a backpack or something, try to offer that to them. Right. Like to bite, or wrap your coat around your arm and offer them your arm.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
If you think he's going to bite you.
Yeah, I think with wild dogs, stray dogs, I used to bump into a lot of packs of wild dogs in Mexico, which is very normal down there. You'll be out at night and there'll be 20 dogs just rolling down the street. They have their hierarchy. They're just walking around scavenging, and every now and then you get a chase off them, and it's terrifying. Like, I totally get it. It's terrifying because you have no idea what the end. Usually you just shout or you jump up on a step and start making a big noise. But I would not. Giving yourself permission to fight for your life against animals is a position I never want to get into, Darren. Right. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd like to think I could take a mountain lion. I think most people would like to think they could, but they're suffocating creatures. I learned that out there in the Serengeti. So like a cheetah, after running, you know, a few hundred meters or half a mile at 45 miles an hour, they have these amazing nostrils. So when they sink their teeth into the neck of their prey, they can still breathe after doing that full sprint. Yeah. So they're suffocating creatures, and most of the big cats are suffocating creatures. And then at the other end, in the water, you have the big crocodiles. And those crocodiles, you get in there with them, you're in their territory, they'll just shake you around, bite you in half. But the biggest killer, would you believe, in Africa, I believe, you can give it to Darren if I'm wrong, but it's the hippo.
Oh, I think I heard something like that. Yeah,
because they're under the water. They're super territorial. And they can give any large predator a run for their money.
And they're hungry. They're hungry hippos.
Oh, they're really hungry, Darren.
You get that joke?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
When we were kids, there was a game, Hungry Hippos.
Did you grow up on that?
Yeah.
What other games from that time did you?
I loved Connect 4. You ever play Connect 4?
I did. Did it at the Burning Man recently.
Checkers.
What?
I like playing checkers, of course, chess.
Yeah.
Candyland. Do you remember Candyland?
No. What was that?
It was like for little kids.
Guess Who?
Yeah, there was Guess Who.
Mousetrap?
Mousetrap, yeah.
Monopoly?
Monopoly. That
Risk?
was too long for me. Risk was for the smart people. We're going to take over the world.
In the comment section, guys, you got to write down the other games from the era you grew up.
Yeah. What board games did you grow up? My son and I, we love playing Aggravation. You roll the dice, you know.
I remember that.
Yeah. That was I was going to say in that book, I think it's called by Ernest Hemingway, I think it's called The Snows of Kilimanjaro. There's a story in there where it's a collection of stories, and one of the stories, there's a man, they're aristocrats, they're from New York City, this is the 1920s, I want to say, and he goes on a lion hunt, right? But then he freaks out, and the lion roars at him and comes charging, and he and drops his gun. Yeah. And then, of course, the guides had to take him out. Pa, 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 pa.
Yeah, sad.
And so he's sitting in the Jeep. He's in the back there, the back of the Jeep, with his wife is next to him. And then there's the guides in the front. And then there's the main driver, the guy, he's like the captain of the whole safari. I don't know what that guy's called, but...
Safari captain?
The safari captain, yeah, we'll say. And so he was, the guy's totally embarrassed back there. And the lady is starting to, diminish her husband, almost like, you wimp, I couldn't believe it, and then she's starting to he notices that the wife is looking at him in the rearview mirror, and she's kind of almost making flirtatious looks and stuff. I mean, it's really bad. And then the guy's dealing with his own insecurities, where he's like, it doesn't matter that I'm out here in the Serengeti or Kilimanjaro. I'm a winner in New York City. I own motorcycles. I have businesses. I'm a winner. Who cares if I can't shoot a lion? Who cares? But meanwhile, he's so embarrassed, and he even peed himself. And then the guy's driving, and he tells him, he's like, we won't mention this back at camp. This will stay in this car. Nobody needs to know that you dropped the gun when the lion came for you. And he's like, oh, okay, I guess that's okay. And then later on, he kind of comforts him again. He goes, there's a great proverb the Ethiopians say. A man is fearful of a lion 3 times. When he's hunting a lion, the first time is when he hears the lion's roar. The second time is when he sees the lion's tracks. And the third time is when he lays eyes on the lion for the very first time.
Damn.
Yeah.
I believe it. Here, when a lion looks at you in the eyes...
Oh my God.
Dude.
Yeah.
Did
the lion look at you in the eyes?
They come so close. They walk up to the cars sometimes.
No way.
And they look at you with their yellow eyes. The eyes are yellow, and it appears to be no emotion, as if you're absolutely inconsequential to them. And then you just look at the forearms, it's like Arnold Schwarzenegger arms.
Wow.
And the teeth, and then they might shout for one of their friends.
Wow.
And you see the teeth, and
wow.
yeah, it's unreal. But
wow.
it did become very clear over there. The safari kind of helps make enough money from tourism to stop the poaching. So it stops people having to poach for money for blah 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 blah. But the hunting, it's so obviously easy to kill any animal. You go, I killed a lion, I killed an elephant.
Yeah,
it would be so easy to do. As someone, you fired a rifle, I fired a rifle. It's like there's nothing to it. So anyone who goes hunting for these big game animals, there's no real skill to it. Like, they're over there, you've got a high-powered weapon. It's so simple. I don't know why there's any magic in it, as if it's a big deal. It's like the easiest thing anyone could do.
Especially nowadays, right? I guess with the high-tech...
Yeah, they're not even looking out for... They don't know what a rifle is. They just see you over there, and then it would be so easy to do. It's so sickening. It's so
how many did you guys kill?
55, yeah. No.
We're joking.
No, do you know
that was a joke? Comedy.
Yeah, it's a joke. Also, here, good news for the listeners. Elephants are on the up and up since they got their new president in over there.
Oh, wow.
So the numbers have gone up. I think 8,000 to 12,000.
Wow. Did you see any baby elephants?
Saw loads of one-yearlings.
Wow.
I think lots of them. Loads of families bopping around, and they have all the mannerisms of families. Like, they'll keep the little kid in the middle. They do the water crossing. The mother will go downstream so the river water doesn't push her away. And she can
that's cool.
And I've footage actually on the Instagram of different animals doing different things. But there's a river crossing I'm going to share now tomorrow, I think, of the elephants. Yeah,
that's cool. That's good, man. I know you
recommend it. Go on safari, support it. It stops. It helps the animals, and it's a really confronting experience when you realize that in the real world you wouldn't stand a chance if we weren't living in brick buildings.
Right. Yeah. As we're wrapping up, I got to ask, because I would love to have you come back on, and I know you got a big day ahead tomorrow, and so there's like a whole new. You're back in LA. You were living all around the world, different places and whatnot. But you would visit LA, but now you're back. You got the apartment. You're settled in. You're ready for comedy. You're on fire.
Yeah, thanks, Darren.
You were good tonight. It was good. You weren't rusty at all.
No, felt really comfy, and just need to make it denser and make it new, make it fresh. I got the new apartment. I'm in Hollywood finally, and just bopping around different.
Does LA seem the same as when you left in 2020, or does it seem different, or how does it seem to you?
It seems less busy. I don't see as many people partying wildly. LA used to be just like a party town. It's definitely out there, but it feels like a little more sedentary. I feel like the population has decreased. And when I went to get the apartment, actually, there's a lot of deals to be done out there. You want a new apartment? Come to LA. They'll give you 3 months, and they'll give you different incentives because the occupancy is down. Everyone migrated out of California. I don't know what was going on.
You know, people say that, but then you're going to be stuck in traffic going, I thought everyone left. There's a lot of traffic out here still.
Yeah, maybe they're all migrating, like the wildebeest in the Serengeti. Yeah, I don't know, dude. Yeah. I to be honest, it feels good. A lot of the same faces. A lot of people have fallen off and just gave up.
Yeah, where you don't see them anymore, huh? You're like, I haven't seen that guy here yet.
Yeah, but I keep seeing the old faces, and it feels good to see the old faces.
Yeah.
I think as long as you stay in the game, I think if anyone was going to do comedy or do acting or whatever, stay in the game long enough, and you'll have a swing at it, right? It seems to be the game.
And also what drives you, you know what I mean? You got to be driven by something.
Yeah.
You know.
What's your something?
You know, there's a few things. I want the success, but I also want success for my family, you know, for my wife and son, for the family, and for myself, but for the family, you know?
Yeah.
But I also, and the balance of life between, you know, I was talking to this comedian tonight, he's a social influencer, and he just looked dead behind the eyes. He's toured way too much last year. He was always gone. And he goes, and we talked about that, and he goes, and I don't even have a girlfriend, like not even a family, he doesn't even have a girlfriend. Yeah. But he was telling his, you know, he's in the quandary of like, because he became really popular in the last 2 years, so he's just doing anything that they throw at him. And he goes, I realize it's too much. Like, even if they would add an extra show, like, you know, do you want to stay in Cleveland one more night, one more show? You could make so much. Yeah. He's like, at the point, it goes, it's diminishing returns because I'm just feeling. I mean, it's a good problem to have, but I knew that he and I are mature enough to have that conversation because it wasn't like you know, it's not like you know, it wasn't like someone asking someone and then them bragging, because it wasn't that at all. But I was like, wow, that's you got to know what you want. And he realized, like he told us, you know, for next year, he goes, let's. He goes, I want to pick and choose the dates more. I don't want to just do whatever they give me.
Yeah,
you know?
and sometimes that works. I've noticed in Hollywood, if you become a little unavailable, your price point goes up, and they start offering you a higher price and a cushier sets and better locations and all sorts of things. So if he's got that power, there's a good chance it'll swing in his favor.
I know you did a few movies. Like recently in the last couple of years.
Oh yeah, that sounds great.
Can I mention some of that? Like the one guy you worked with?
Oh yeah.
Did I look like sort of, kind of?
No, I thought it was you actually. Yeah.
He worked with Bruce Willis, which,
Yeah.
you know, I grew up watching Bruce Willis, you know, and like Moonlighting. He was funny on there, and then of course all the movies, and he's
a real gem of a guy.
Yeah.
He's obviously, as everyone knows at this point, he's gone through some cognitive decline. I don't know the specifics of it, but anytime I met him, he was friendly, kind, present, and really encouraging. Like, you know, he would go out of his way to be nice to everybody. And it was Bruce Willis on set. When he came on set, like, everyone was like, that's Bruce fucking Willis. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So everyone would stand up a little. All the shots were like locked off, ready to go. Lighting was perfect. Bring in number one. Can we invite number one? And number one would come in, sit down, take a little glass of water, or, you know, go up, do his bit. And you know, there was a great team around him. He had he was laughing a lot, and he had a lot of great friends around him. And the director that we were working with, Edward Drake, was fantastic with him. And you know, I think he could have been doing anything that he was enjoying more. Now, I don't know him at that level.
Yeah.
I know him just in passing little chats, but he seems so happy to be doing what he knew how to do, and I would speculate that it probably helped him push forward a little longer. You know.
Yeah.
It's funny enough, he comes up so much now in conversations. Like, I didn't realize how much people talk about Bruce Willis until after doing the movies. But we did a few of those together, and then on that one of the movies, I met the wonderful Jack Kilmer, who's a brilliant actor, and then we did a movie with Stephen Dorff, Cole Hauser from Yellowstone, and that was like in a western town that just came out.
Wow.
That was cool. Director Brian Skiba, he's brilliant. And that was cool just to shoot a western. The horses were from the series. The horses and the stunt guys, I think, were from the Yellowstone series, so they were epic. Like, the horses like had muscle memory. They could be trained like basically to talk. I don't know what, they could do anything. And that just came out. And then the last movie we just shot in New York. It's a comedy starring Kevin James as the number one, his wife Christina Ricci, me as Kevin James's sidekick, Melissa Leo, Oscar winner, and so there's a chance, dude. That's why I'm back in the clubs. I'm trying to get good at comedy, so if the thing pops a little bit, I can do a few gigs with some cool people who've offered to take me out.
Dude, that's cool.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm going to be using you, and you can use me too.
That's what real life is about helping each other out.
Yeah.
You know, because
for real. And you help me out, like, behind the scenes. You're like, hey, I like what you're doing with the video. You give me those pep talks, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I remember I did a podcast with somebody.
That's because I can't do it myself. I give everyone pet talks. But I'm getting there. It's I just believe in you,
remember,
dude.
you're like, dude, your podcast is popping, papa. Yeah, I think it was the Sam Tripoli episode.
Oh, he's
and
brilliant.
Then there was
He's
and then you'd give me these, like, dude, it's almost there. And then remember you said that, you go, I go, when I started getting more spots at the Comedy Store, and then you go, it's happening. And then boom, out of nowhere, like, the Instagram took off, and you were like, but you already saw it was happening before I saw it was happening.
Yeah, I think it's easier for other people.
Thank you.
No worries, man. And it's all you. I have got a bit of a knack for spotting. I don't know what it is, but I get it a lot that I can kind of. I wouldn't say it, but I'm saying it secretly. I can see the future. No, but but I've been around long enough and on the planet in enough situations to see when someone has the makings of a winner, and I see it in you, dude. So I believe in you. I just know it's Madison Square Gardens with a big fuck off spotlight instead of a torch.
Dude, you always say that. I'm like, God, I wonder if it's, you never know.
It's literally, you get to a point.
Yeah.
Also knowing the system a bit and seeing behind the curtains. I've been around Hollywood a while, in the shadows, And once you get to a certain level, there's a new kind of like these little doorways open up.
Yeah.
And then it becomes, well, is he... People start having conversations. Someone suggests it, then someone really smart suggests it, then someone with clout suggests it. Could he do Madison Square Gardens? Yes, he could. Okay, so what do we do to get him there? And then they make a choice to make you pop. So it's like you have the talent. Hundreds of people have the talent, but then at some point the mechanism gets behind you, and they decide to give you the opportunity, and then they put the full force of the media, the full force of ticketing and marketing behind you. It's never a one-man show at that level. Madison Square Gardens, there's hundreds of people working to make that happen for about 2 years.
Yeah.
And then, as a result, they get the payback of having a talent who can command high ticket prices in large numbers globally. So it's just that next level. It's the private jet level. You're at Cessna level.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you deserve private jet.
Yeah, it was thank you, buddy. It was
I believe you. I truly believe you.
I saw a guy he was so happy to see me that works here. He's a new employee.
Yeah.
Last time I walked, he goes, you're here. Oh my God, I follow you. Like, he was freaking out, and I was like, this is cool. Like, this is like, you're like seeing like that kind of thing. But it's just one guy. But you're right. Maybe the ball keeps rolling, and
But yeah, and it's not even maybe now. Imagine trying to do this if you hadn't been through all the training you've been through.
Yeah.
Now when it comes, dude, and it's already coming, you can hold on to the grass so you don't get fucking whipped up into the atmosphere.
Right.
Because fame is a hell of a trauma. It's coming. Like, it's all coming, and I think you're ready, dude. You've worked your whole life to be ready.
I've had the small doses of it, and
you've had epic wins.
It's funny. I remember one time I was on an airplane, and the flight attendant recognized me, and she bumped me up to first class.
Amazing.
But the funny part was, it was a flight from Kansas City to St. Louis.
Okay.
So it was like 20 minutes, I got to be in first class for 20 minutes.
I was going to say, I thought it was all economy seating, but it's first class. You just said, I'm going to move you up to first class. So you go up and just like one extra leg room.
Yeah, it wasn't like it was from like, LA to like France or something. But anyways, well, Frank, thank you so much, dude. Always love hanging with you. And dude, man, you're the best. Any words of wisdom in closing? Anything you've learned along the last couple of years that you could pass along to our beautiful viewers and listeners?
Let's see. I think vulnerable is good. So yeah, I've noticed recently, trust yourself, trust your instincts, trust your intuition, and note red flags early and act on them. Make your life as pleasant as possible. It's very short, and curate your friend group and be kind to others. That's about it.
Fantastic. I love the accent. Is this real?
Nah, dude, this is... I'm more like a stoner, dude,
This is an Irish character.
Dude,
you didn't have this before the pandemic,
Hey,
right?
here, dude, I'm going to spark up outside. You can fucking do it. You want some of this shit, dude?
And that was Frank Cronin, ladies and gentlemen. That was great. You guys, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. And like I said, if you guys want to help, do us a favor, give it 5 stars in a review. And if you're watching this on YouTube, comment below. The more comments, the better it helps. And I'm available on Cameo. Go to Cameo, and you can get a customized video message. All right? Have a great rest of your day. Darren Carter, party starter. Be a joy machine. I am.
Everybody listen to Darren Carter. We all know he's the party starter. So if you want to listen to a podcast for free, then listen to The Pocket Party.